So Dr. Demming is the guy that was sent by the U.S. over to Japan after the bombing, Hiroshima, to basically revitalize the industrial industry over in Japan. Okay, Dr. Demming at that point met a young Dr. Genichi Taguchi. Taguchi was a young engineer, worked in the manufacturing plant. Demming was a statistician. Taguchi was a plant engineer. Demming taught Taguchi statistics. Taguchi was in the plant saying, anytime I have downtime and something breaks, that costs me money. So there has to be a way for me, instead of just swapping out 100 different parts, there has to be a way for me to swap out this and this, or test this and this, and simulate thousands of simulations, and I know exactly what the optimal formula is for whatever the process is. So the Taguchi method basically is, how do you optimize a process? Basically, it's a signal to noise ratio conversion. That's all it really is. Okay.
Signal to who?
So it's a signal to noise. Signal to noise is a signal to noise ratio. Signal to noise. Basically, here's your flat signal. You're trying to get anomalies out of that signal, so it basically follows a straight line. So basically, if you have a standard, it's trying to get everything to standard, so you have what they call a robust system. Okay. So what the Taguchi method does, long and short of it, it can simulate thousands of tests in only like 12. You do 12 tests, you're simulating 1,000. Okay, it's based on matrix algebra. What Taguchi did is he said, of these matrix parameters or these matrix combinations, this one, and this one actually simulate 1,000. Okay, so I was taught. Okay, you have Demming, Taguchi, Dr. Kowalik. Studied under Dr. Taguchi, won the Taguchi Award 5 times. Okay, been over to Japan, went through their whole hell school and that type of thing for managers, the whole bit. Dr. Kowalik brought the Taguchi method to the United States back in the 70s. Okay, I was reading a magazine article about Dr. Kowalik. He had applied the Taguchi method to marketing. He was getting 7x increase over baseline by applying the Taguchi method to advertising. It's called multivariable, multivariate, fractional factorial analysis. That's what it is. Dr. Kowalik taught me the Taguchi method. So I'm basically Demming, Taguchi, Kowalik, me. And he taught me the Taguchi method.
You met him?
Met him. He's been my mentor now for since '03.
Is he alive?
Very much alive. Just saw him a couple weeks ago. The newest thing is something called Mahalaba Nobis. Mahalaba Nobis springs off the Taguchi method, but it's a little bit different. One gives you robust system design, so that you're basically making an ad that works. If the ad stays in the same environment, it will just work. Ad meaning advertisement. If an advertisement is in the same environment, it will just give you the highest conversion possible. It tells you within the ad itself, what are the influencing factors in the ad? Headline, color, position on the page, woman, man. You can actually tell from the math exactly what the influential factors in the ad, and then tells you which ones are not influential. So it breaks the ad out into a system in and of itself, so you can actually create an ad that you pay attention to the right things. The next thing that is Mahalaba Nobis. Mahalaba Nobis is pattern recognition, but it uses the Taguchi method, but it's also surveying. It matches them both together, and it finds patterns in marketing, or it finds the ideal client for you, so that you know exactly who's the client, the demographic, psychographic, and that type of thing, based on just the survey data only. But it's pattern recognition. The math is horrific. Because you do your survey, then you basically do a standard correlation, then you do a standard divergence, then you do an inverse matrix, and then after you do all that, then you send it to a Taguchi, a 64 by 64 Taguchi matrix. The math is horrific.
Horrific as in difficult. Horrific as in difficult?
Horrific as in humanly difficult. It is
a lot of calculation.
It is doable with Excel, which tells me it can be done. Because right now, the only program that can even remotely, either a supercomputer, right, or Excel. And I'm looking at my mentor, and I said, a supercomputer for matrix math? I said, that still doesn't make any sense. I said, this needs to be done in just a high-level language. That's all. I mean, it's really not hard, because the inverse matrix and all this stuff, they're part of functions within the PHPs, the C++s, the C Sharps, anything that's out there. But that's not part of our skill set. So what would be really cool is if we could develop a UI for Mahalaba nobis, because the data analysis would be available for that would be incredible for automotive, for anything in manufacturing, but especially marketing. The example I have for marketing is this. They the company did the full survey for a diaper company. This was in Switzerland, I believe. Survey for diapers. They asked the market of the competitor, why do you like these diapers? Based on the questionnaire, created a whole other diaper set, and it drove their marketing to basically take over that marketplace with, I believe, a year completely. Which means you could come into a market based on just one survey, drive your marketing, drive your product design, and the whole bit, because you recognize the pattern within the survey of this type of client wants this type of thing, but not like a typical survey. To the point where you could also have this to handle something like hiring a computer programmer. Computer programmer to the point where you would say, you'd ask them a question, do you like to get up early? It's not so much getting up early is a question that you ask a computer programmer. Is that a person who is a real programmer answers this question this type of way, and it looks for those type of patterns within the survey. I was exposed to this technology 3 years ago. Only 3 books have been written on it on the planet. There's only 3 practitioners, and I'm one of them. But the math is horrific. You just don't want to do it. It's so arduous of trying to use Excel with the matrix, and it's ridiculous. I'd like to have that program, because if we could have that program just doing the survey.
What kind of programmer do you need for that?
One that, we need not even higher mathematical skills.
Because you have to write the formulas for him. He'll just integrate it into a software.
Yeah, I have the formulas. The formulas already exist. The methodology already exists. I basically have to develop the inputs, what goes in the inputs, and then basically sit down and actually handle in programmee's computer language, and then say, make this. But right now, it is humanly impossible to do this math right now.
But if you can explain it to me, maybe I can make it humanly possible.
It'll take we can't do it now, because I would have to sit down with notes, look at it, get the formulas out, and explain it to you step by step. But that application is it is the killer app for marketing, because it finds the pattern in any existing market.
My interest would be
for politics,
for my 1 million business thing, for example.
Right. It was extreme.
The implications are a lot.
Right. Well, the one case study book that I have, it's manufacturing, it's healthcare, it's to the point where it can where a doctor can diagnose someone in not 21 visits, but 3. You just diminish healthcare costs substantially, because it's noticing patterns in whatever it is. It's like, look, you're looking at this, and it also finds the elements within the patterns. Excuse me? No.